It's time for another Algebra 2 Regents quick question walkthrough, and this one says, consider the graph of H and the table representing F below. Over the interval 1, 3, which statement regarding the average rate of change for H and F is true? Rate of change is simply the change in Y over the change in X, and it looks like I'm going to be comparing it to the h of x function and the f of x function and figuring out during that interval which one has a greater or lesser, or maybe they're equal rates of change. Since they've given me the interval, that is my x1 and my x2. So I can stay focused on the important parts of the problem. I'm going to find those on both the graph and the table to concentrate on the values that I need. On my f of x function, I can see clearly that it is these set of values. On my graph, it looks like it's going to be the value 1, 2 and the value 3, 8. Now that I've isolated the values that I need, I'm going to start with my table with my f of x function. And I'm going to put that into my rate of change equation. I'm going to insulate the second value just in case there are any negatives that I need to be subtracting. Putting my values in, I'm looking down at my interval of 1, 3, which means this is going to be x2, this is going to be x1, and then I'm going to look at the corresponding y values for those, or f of x values, and I have 14 minus 7. My rate of change for f of x equals 7 for 2, which is also 3.5. Looking now at my h of h function on the graph, I'm going to set that one up, and it's going to be the change in y over the change in x equals, and again, I'm going to isolate those second values just in case I'm subtracting any negative values. And this is again over the interval 3, 1, or 1, 3, which is going to be 3 minus 1. Finding the corresponding y values, I'm going to put in 8 minus 2, which is going to give me 6 over 2, which is the rate of change of 3. Now that I have my rate of change values, I'm going to read through the statements and see which of them is true. The average rates of change are equal. I know one is not true because 3.5 does not equal 3. F has a greater rate of change. That in fact does seem to be true because 3.5 is greater than 3. Just to make certain, I'm going to read through the other two answers to see if I can eliminate those. If I have the time, it's a good idea to do this just in case I made an error in the subtraction. This was easy subtraction, but if it was more complex formulas or equations, I would definitely want to double check. Number 3 says the average rate of change for H, which is 3, is twice the average rate of change for F. No, F would have to be 1.5 for that to be. And number 4 says the average rate of change for H is half the average rate of change for F. And again, that is also not true. So I'm going to stick with my answer of number 2, and I'm done.